What is up, everybody? Man, excited. We have a new song that just dropped this morning, and I'm trying to bring in the DJ who remixed it and took this song to a whole nother level. The song is Gateway by TruthSeekah, FHONO, and Lokka Vox. It is on Spotify and all streaming platforms. You got to go hear it. So make sure you go listen to it and come back and let's talk about it. If you haven't heard it yet, it's a remix to, look at that. One of my best songs, one of my favorite songs that I've done, Gateway to the Seer Realm. And it's already one of my favorites. And what my friend did with this took it to a whole nother level. And I want to talk about it. I want you to hear it. And it's amazing. So he's going to join here in a second if we can get him brought in. This is Kenneth Thomas, DJ FHONO, DJ Ken Thomas will be with us shortly. Send me a request, brother, when you see this, or comment so I can invite you that way, one or the other. So for those of you who have heard it already, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think. And for those of you who haven't, the link is in the description. You can go to Spotify and just type in TruthSeekah or Gateway, TruthSeekah Gateway, FHONO, Lokka Vox, any of those names with Gateway with it, and listen. So it's an EDM remix to my song Gateway to the Seer Realm. And when I tell you that he took it to a whole nother level, my God, I just want to kind of share just some of the feelings and emotions behind it, how the song came about, all that cool stuff. And let me just try to get him brought in, guys, and we'll go into it a little bit. But I need you to go there and listen, and I need you to follow when you get there too, so you'll be updated with all the new music. One of the reasons why I say go to Spotify is because for some reason some of my albums have been removed from some of the other streaming platforms, and I love Spotify. So make sure you go there because it's got anywhere else on Spotify too. But if you got other platforms, listen to it on all the platforms. I don't care. Listen to it. Sent me the link. Yeah, awesome. Right, you got the link. Cool. Heck yeah. And it should be linked to this video too, so it should be easy to get the link. And if it's not, I'll post it in the comments myself. Well, I guess I can't yet, but it's in the description. So yeah, it's in the description, and I will post it whatever. So we just got to make it easily accessible for people to find and people to hear it. So he is joining. I see it's trying to add him right now, and we'll be able to talk a little bit about the song from his perspective. And it's a pretty emotional song. And I've been trying to work with EDM artists and electronic people who make remixes and festival trap and all that kind of stuff for years with my music, and never could get a version from people that I really liked. This was from fans who offered to do stuff, from people I tried to hire, and I'll get stuff back that it's just not. I couldn't listen to it just for different reasons. Most of them weren't good, to be honest with you, but the timing, like, because I'm a rapper, and when I'm rapping, I know how I rapped it, and I usually rap on the snare. And so if you mess with the timing and you don't have it lined up perfectly, like, not everybody can hear it. You just throw it in there like, oh, it sounds good. It's like, I'm off timing. I didn't rap it like that. And so it that was a big thing why I was able to work with anybody or like those. Let's see, say, now I'm asking you to join. It says it's adding you, and I'll just send you the invite yourself, so you should have it somewhere too. So I'm gonna just keep adding it when I see it. So to get you in, Ken. But I want to kind of just wait a little bit before he gets on to really share some of the feelings, which he knows a lot of it already. We've talked about it, but I want you guys to hear. what's behind it, like what's behind the song. It's not letting me accept you, Ken. Huh. Because it's saying you're trying to join. Let me try this again. Let me X that out and then let me try to accept it now. So it's going to try it now. All right. It should be trying to add you or at least ask you. But um, here is the cover gateway. TruthSeekah, Lokka Vox, FHONO. And it was just a really cool way how this came about too. A lot of synchronicities in this, and we pay attention to signs and wonders because signs and wonders will follow them that believe, and synchronicities are a sign and a wonder if you believe it, and I do. I pay attention to those little nuances that other people don't, and when you do, you'll find out that your life gets on track to where you're supposed to be going, and there's signs. Go this way. Don't go that way. Trying to add them, it's not really going through. Maybe restart your app, brother, or like exit all your apps out and try to open it back up because it keeps saying adding, but you don't never come through. Try to add again. Let's see. So there it is. Accept. Okay. It's trying it again to add them, but I'll say that I want to wait for him to get on here. But also, in other news, I'm working on more music, and I've been rejuvenated. It's so easy. I'm real hard on myself when it comes to music, when it comes to lyrics. I want to bring something to the table that never existed. And I want to say something I've never said before. And so when you have a lot of music and a lot of songs under your belt, especially when you're talking about similar subjects, those same rhyming words kind of keep coming up. So I'm so hard on myself that if I'm writing in those lyrics, I'm repeating my lyrics from another song and I didn't even know it. I'm like, oh, I can't put that out. Those are the lyrics from Mystic Mind. And I'm like saying the same things or whatever. And so I'm so hard on myself, it actually depresses you, when you're so hard on yourself that nothing comes out. And I've been talking about this for years, but people will say, you're too hard on yourself. You're just such a perfectionist. Don't be that. Just have fun and put it out. But, my response is usually like, that's how I make the music that I make. If you like my music and everything that's come out, well, there's a standard, right? It just can't, I don't just, it's not just fun. Like it's a challenge. It's, not wanting to say the same thing. And I would never compare myself, but I guess I am to Lil Wayne, right? But it was really cool to hear interviews with him where people's minds were blown up, just his thought process of like, they ask him how long it takes him to write 16 bars. How long does it take you to write a verse? That Joker said it could take 7 months for his original stuff, 7 months to write a verse because he doesn't want to say over and over. He wants to say something he's never said before. And like I felt that. And everybody who he told that, they were like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not want to repeat myself and say the same thing I said last week or on the last album or whatever. So there's a standard, you know what I'm saying, that I hold myself to. And it comes from different places. Inspiration and creativity comes from so many places, and you should be able to draw off of that. Andrew Gower, my dude. Yeah, that's my buddy. And his brother, I believe you're. Yeah, his brother's a DJ in Atlanta, and I know you heard it, Drew. It was so funny. All this is synchronicity, especially with the song too. Drew Gower. For those of you who don't know, a little bit of trivia with this. At the end of my song, The Imaginatrix, there's clips from what's his name, Terrence McKenna at the beginning and at the end. And then after the Terrence McKenna clip at the end, there's a clip of Drew Gower. He's one of my best friends. and he's been a huge supporter. God's been speaking through him to me as a friend for a long time, and he's encouraged me along the way. But there's a clip of conversation that was just really profound at the moment, and I pulled my phone out and said, "Hey, say that again," and I recorded it, and we put that in the song, and it's embodied in there. So that's Drew Gower, and he's in that song, and he's a real good friend of mine. We've been in bands together and all that cool stuff. But that's a little bit of that info. We got it to work on a different account, man. Got it.
We do. I don't know. Maybe it's the universe saying, "Hey, it's time to step into the FHONO project full on."
Good stuff, man.
Apparently, I can't get on my personal page, but there you go. Hey, got to start coming out of the dark sometime, right?
Dude, yes sir, yes sir. From like talk. I mean, what's on your heart with the song? Feelings, impressions. Are you like how? I mean, how you feel? So many emotions for me, honestly. But I want to hear what you got to say.
I feel good, man. This project came together so easy, to be honest. Like the way that music flows with me, and you know how it is in the creative space, especially for a lot of creatives. It's just like you work on stuff forever. You never think it's ready, and then even just like getting on a call here, it just problems that aren't even have to do with us, like just delays, and I mean, I've been putting out music, in the electronic world for 17 years, and 100 plus releases, and this one came together so easy, so simple. Like me and you hooked up, started vibing a little bit, got to know each other a little bit. You tossed me some acapellas, I got after it, super inspired. Daniel was over here the other day, and he was asking like, how long does a track usually take? And I'm like, sometimes you're just beating it for 100 hours, just over months, and this thing, like, I think the meat and potatoes of it, the core of it came together in like 3 or 4 hours, just like one, maybe 2 studio sessions. Got super inspired, and then, the tweaking takes a little bit of time, but, it was just easy, like anointed, to use that word. Like it just came together so simple. And then even the release, like it dawned on me this week, I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're already here. Like we put it in the pipes, got it in the system, and it came out so quick. And I don't know, man, it's just greased, I mean, it's coming out, and I think it's because, like we talked about some of the messages that we carry, that you carry, that I carry, that Lokka carries. There's a lot of people out there that need to resonate with that. They need to connect with what we carry, and it's, I love how this project like pulled from so many different angles, but it just came together so perfectly. It just gelled. So I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts. I still listen to it like on nonstop, and I'm fired up. It jacks me up, like in the car, just blasting it. Yeah, man. So
yeah, I know, and I know artists don't like this, but like you kind of, I don't like it. If you don't, I don't like it whenever, like, if I don't feel it. But I'm a huge fan of Above and Beyond. It's real. It's like, and I would say one word that comes with those guys: majestic. Not just with them, but with their work with certain artists and singers and stuff, like majesty, majestic. It's heavenly. Like there's a sound, right? And man, I'm really big into those guys, and this, what you did. I mean, we just met. I don't know your catalog. Like I love everything I've heard so far, and to be on a song, right, that is majestic. And I cried, man. Like what you were doing with me back and forth was dope. Heck yeah, this is awesome. Excited. And then you said, well, let's see what Lokka Vox can do. I'm gonna send it Vox. Let's see what she can do. And you sent me the rough version, and I was sitting in my truck. I started weeping, dude. Like, because of the anointing, because of, I know how many people, like if I feel this, and people who are like me, and which is a lot more people than we thought, they're gonna weep when they hear it, because it's the anointing. God's gonna speak to them through this music, this idea, these emotions, this freedom, this exploration that is embodied in a song, man. Like music is so powerful, and that's how I felt. So I know I get chills talking about it and crying, listening to it. Um, it's I'm excited for you, and if that's what sends you guys watching this video over to listen to it, that brought tears to me. That don't happen a lot with my music. It's happening a lot now, but um,
Yep.
man, you guys took it to a level that was majestic, man. And so thank you for doing that, man, and letting God use you and your creativity that He's entrusted you with and stuff, man. And we want to continue to do that as much as we
Yep.
can. If it's in music, if it's in art, if it's in a conversation, whatever, man. And just want to encourage everybody to do the same. Like funnel that energy and put it in something where it can show up and have a manifestation in this realm, right? The things that are beautiful to
Yeah.
you that people should experience and people should know, the goodness of God, His exploration, how much He loves you, um, and and more embodied in a rap song, in an
Yeah.
EDM song now, man.
Whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's really it's been tough because when we get it into the system, we start promoting it. It's hard because it's not dubstep, and that's the thing with all my FHONO stuff right now, the newer project I'm working on. It's sort of dubstep, it's sort of future bass, it's sort of like trance, the realm I come from, like you're talking
See,
about
I
above and
don't
beyond,
know
like that's my
all the I
history.
don't know all
Yeah,
of the different genres. That's the thing, So it's like, hey, yeah, that's EDM. Be like, not necessarily.
yeah, and that's honestly that's like, but it's a hard thing because you start putting out new stuff like this, and even the other stuff I'm doing with FHONO, it's like you don't find a specific lane which you fit into, which I mean I bet you that
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
yeah,
It doesn't, the lane doesn't exist yet. It's sort of a subgenre within subgenres, yet it still resonates with a
mhm,
large audience. And there's a lot of people, like people who like full on dubstep can vibe to this stuff. People who love hip hop and love the esoteric spiritual hip hop side of thing can vibe with it. The EDM people can vibe with it. The trance people, because of the chords and the huge melodies and the heavenly, chord progressions, can vibe with it. So it's been tricky, but to find the avenues to, it's not like we're just producing a trap record and you go after the trap playlist and you go after the trap bloggers and you go after the people who love trap, or you're producing like above and beyond trance record and you just go after the Anjuna Beats crowd, like that's kind of easy. But when you do something different,
yeah,
especially when you bring together three streams, genre wise, Lokka comes from like an EDM pop melodic songwriter perspective. You come from more of the esoteric rap perspective and bringing your message. And then I come from more of like melodies from heaven, stepping in the spirit realm with the production, to bring it all together is just, I think it's really going to compound, the growth and the impact, because you got, like, I was just thinking about as you were talking, like you got Lokka, who's amazing, and we built a great relationship over the last decade, and she's sung on a ton of my records as Kenneth Thomas, and she's singing on a ton of FHONO stuff, and we're working on her pop music together, and she's gone through a lot of amazing healing, and she's always been a very beautiful soul that's exploring, the adventures of life. But even the last handful of years, she's gone through a ton of just spiritual awakening and healing, as we all have, as this, blanket has been put across the earth of healing and of awakening. She's been one of the people who's really stepped into that. So she was really inspired by this project when I sent
yeah.
it to her. And honestly, I was like, hey, I'm working with this dude. I would love to get you on some future records with him. Like, I think you'd be great singing the hooks. And I was just showing it to her. And like with 2 days later, she doesn't even message me back. She just sends me her demo,
Oh God,
of what she did on the record. And I was like, okay, game on, like, let's
yeah,
go. And she was so excited because she felt like it was a way for her to really step into processing her spiritual healing and growth. And so I was just thinking about how like she's kind of representing that spiritual healing aspect in the record, and then you represent kind of like the theological expansion and forward thinking, like question asking, theology challenging, that like freedom to like ask questions and explore the forbidden for a lot, lack of a better term, a lot of, the forbidden ideas in mysticism, in Christian mysticism, in the spirit realm. And then, my thing has always been tapping into the subconscious melodies of heaven, the nonverbal aspect. So it's like I see this triple, angle that comes together, bringing it all together, the theological, meditative side, the healing, spiritual, emotional side, and then the melodies that are a blanket to, open up the gateway.
Yeah, man.
Pun intended. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's been super inspiring. I'm jazzed up to continue figuring out what the next records are, the next projects, and keep building this relationship.
So weird, dude, because before I move on to that, I just want to say yeah, she did an amazing job in what she was going through and is going through, and her hopes and the beauty, the gold that comes out of what she's going through. Is captured in a record. It's released in her voice when people hear it, and me too. And you too. You can feel the music. There's energy and information in our voices and in our beats and in our programming and in an emotion and it's an experience. That's the only song I want to make. I want you to laugh. What do you say? I want you to think. I want you to be inspired. I want you to draw a tear. If I can do it, that. Those are the best movies. Those are the best stories. Those are the best songs. And to be a part of that and what everybody brought to the table is freaking amazing. So, obviously, I was talking about it right before you joined, and I talked to you about it, just how discouraged I guess I've been with music, because it's I've been doing it for a long time. It doesn't bring in much money at all. I don't know if it's back end stuff that's not set up right. I don't know if it's producers claiming the money. I don't know what it is. I don't make much money off of the music, but I love it and I do it from a place of love. But pushing the envelope and setting the bar so high is kind of been my rule of once I make a song, my best song, the next song has to be, I say meter beat. It has to be as good as or better. We can't put out a song and drop down here and then drop down here. We can't do that no more. And so in doing that, in my own personal writing and beat selection and working with other artists, it's a challenge, but it's allowed me to keep ascending, stepping up to put out great music. But then I plateau. That was the peak. I used all the cool words that I've studied. I never heard that in a rap song, and I'm starting to repeat myself, and repeating myself with ideas are cool, but how we get to them and using words and stuff. So it's really hard on me, almost depressing, because it's I can tap into some inspiration, but writing it and bringing something new to the table, because I want to do that.
Sure.
Everything is kind of played out. So there was just a long time where it's kind of been hard. My last album I put out, a lot of it was hard to write, because I'm challenging myself, and it's kind of weird. I'm not a young man, you know what I'm saying? But it's weird because in my head it was almost okay, music's kind of behind you, you're kind of different.
Yeah.
You got a good catalog, because I still feel so connected with promoting my first spiritual hip hop album that just turned 10 years old this year.
Yep.
People need to hear that. And I'm still, so that's the beauty of a song that has longevity, and it's a journey, and it's a piece of me that you never heard before anywhere. So you want to keep doing that. And then when that plateaus out, it's oh man, let me just promote the old catalog. I don't want to make new music, because you don't want to take those steps to devolve, So in my mind, music was kind of phasing out, and I would do it for fun, but it would never, be that thing, that childlike awe and wonder that was gone, I guess. But it's back with a vengeance. It's back with a vengeance. I think it started a little bit with your song and hearing that, and that drawing emotion out of me, which it did. Trusting people with your art to take it to another level, because I'm an artist who has taught myself to do everything. It's helped me save money. over the years, but it makes me hold on to all the creativity with recording myself, filming myself in the video, editing my videos, editing my music.
Yep.
I do it all. My graphic art, I do it all. And I had to do it all early on, but now when it comes like, hey, can you make me an album cover? That's kind of hard to, because it's your baby. Like this is going to represent your song. It represents you. I'm gonna trust you with this. And like I said, I've worked with EDM artists in the past or dubstep artists and stuff to give them vocals, and they send me stuff back that's like, oh man, I can't put this out. I can't. Hey man, thank you.
Right.
But I can't put this out. And so doing that 7 times, and it's like, oh, yeah, I still would like a good festival trap, a good remix would be amazing to hear. And it's like, don't know if you're gonna get it.
Right.
And then I got it, and then it met and beat expectations of what was possible. And I know that's just the beginning, just like because you're like, oh, that's nothing, man. We threw that together, came fast, there's more kind of thing. So
Yep.
that lit a spark in me and then drawn emotion out of me to cry and to be like, wow. But many
Yeah.
other things that are little nuances that come into play. Get better equipment. I just invested in some better equipment. So now
That's what I heard. Yeah. I heard that.
sound,
I heard you got.
like I sound better on the microphone, like so even the whole dynamics of my vocals. So that's like, hey, this is cool. I sound professional without
Yeah.
like not even having to edit it, and so that's like bringing some, hey, I can, and I got new equipment. It's just like that, and then I'm working with another friend of mine who's and I'll drop his name for you guys to follow his page too. Zen J Beats with the Z. Zen J Beats, Beatz. I'm working with him, and over these years, I've never been able to really have input in the music, as we just get beats from people online. And sometimes you find a honey hole where this guy has your style and you can get a bunch of beats from him, but other people can get those same beats unless you buy the exclusives, that kind of thing. And didn't have the money to afford an exclusive, to be honest with you. So it's like, hey, take this beat, and maybe you can trick it out and cut it up and slice it up. But to sit down with the producer, like I said, one of my best friends lives down the road, and he just started making beats, and somebody was asking about a little snippet that I posted from this song about the darkness falling, and it's like, first of all, the equipment's got me sounding great, and then him giving me the beat, and I'm like, hold on, let's drop. Now that we got our song written on here, the instruments got to drop out. We got to build it back up. And so be able to work with a producer, even with you, like I was giving you some ideas, like I haven't been able to do that. And I've been doing this for a long, probably in this thing, 20 something years, man, making music. And like, this is the first time I've been able to, in the hip hop genre or electronic music, program music, to be able to say, hey, drop that out because I'm going to say this here and then we're going to raise it back up and the vocal melody is going to build. So the same experience on the 2 songs that I've worked on recently was, that song with you, and it got to hear anyway. And then the song with my friend Jeremy is in J Beats, that we're listening to it yesterday in his studio. And I'm just like, I got the chills. I get the anointing and I want to start crying just because it's like, it's from the heart. And if your heart's in a good place, bro, it's tangible and people can feel it, man. And man, it's just such an honor to be, to be able to pay that forward, bro.
Yeah.
That's where I've been. That's where I'm at, man. I'm excited about
Well, I think, what you just described is very parallel to, my own journey. I mean, I had a great arc in the trance world, and like above and beyond, like you mentioned, like those are boys of mine, those are friends and guys in the trance realm, or people I've worked with since 2005, guys like Tiesto and Armin van Buuren and Paul Oakenfold. And I had a really good run. I toured the world. I had a good decade of just putting out music on the biggest, dance labels, and had a great run, but everything shifts, everything changes. And then I got a little burnt out on the sound that I was shifting towards, and kind of went back to like my more underground melodic trance sound. And I started writing the best music I felt I ever wrote. But then because the genre was more of a niche, like finances disappeared, gigs disappeared, which was, I knew that was part of the process. But it basically just died this slow death. And then eventually I officially retired the brand Kenneth Thomas, and celebrated it. We had a great season of just doing some final shows, saying goodbye to all the fans. You know, we really closed it up, you know, with honor. But it was time, you know, the season shifted, the season died, you know, and I think a lot of people are going through that. Like you're saying, like you kind of ran the well dry, you know, you pulled all the great water, you know, the great anointing out of that well that was for that season. And you know, that's the kingdom. It just moves on. You know, the kingdom's always moving forward, it's always expanding. And that's with us too. And sometimes we get into a rhythm where, you know, we're so inspired by a certain well, we just want that well to last forever. And God's like, no, that was amazing, and that was sustenance, that sustained you for a season. But we're, you know, God's got this grin on his face, and he's like, but we're moving forward, we're going to keep going, I'm going to take you to the next well. But us as humans, and I tie these parallels together between my journey and what you're saying, because I think there's people listening that are going through the same thing. Their dreams are dying, their goals, the things that God put on their heart, and the things they went after, have shifted. And a lot of people are in that place. And I think that we're both forerunners in the sense that we walk through it first. And that's why we're able to talk about it now and encourage people. Actually, it's so funny because I've had this conversation a number of times in the last one on an airplane. Actually, the airplane down here to Florida a couple weeks ago, the dude sitting next to me is like a 35-year-old real estate guy who, you know, had his first like 6-figure year last year. And then he went through a terrible breakup and was super like just down, and his real estate thing died off. And I was telling him a little bit of my story and how like I was in a complete reboot at the age of like 38, 39, like completely, I mean, broke everything, and musically, financially, job wise, and everything shifted, and you know, was redeemed, you know, in the last handful of years. And he was super inspired by that. And even like Daniel, you know, I got to hang out with Daniel, David I am, a little bit this week, because he's near me in Florida for the moment. And even he was saying, you know, as I was telling a bit of my story and process, he seemed super inspired, like, oh my gosh, like you were able to reboot in your late 30s and have a whole new revival, both, you know, in the work realm, in the financial realm, like, you know, paying the bills, you know, supplying from, you know, for livelihood for the family, but also creatively coming into a new expression, a new well of anointing, to go back to that analogy. And I think that there's so many people out there that need to hear that encouragement from you, from me, from people who are starting to step into the second or third, you know, manifestation of their season. Everything is seasonal. That's the nature of the kingdom of heaven. And it's important to be able to celebrate something as it transitions or even dies. A seed needs to go into the ground to die. And now, like, so you talk about your inspiration, like you haven't gone on to something completely new. Your seed of your first 10 years in hip hop, 15 years, whatever, of making records, making beats, having some level of success, but then that seed dying, it's the same substance. It's the same DNA. The seed is the same DNA. It just grows into the next manifestation. And I'm seeing that with me, like FHONO, the FHONO project is the very DNA of Kenneth Thomas. It's melodic, it's lush. It's not like, it's different beats, it's different, even somewhat different demographic of people who resonate with it. It's a lot of the same production techniques. It's a lot of the same melodies, the same, I feel the same rhythm in my heart. When I'm writing a chord for an old trance record, that's like, my heart is coming alive. That's how I used to gauge the melodies I was writing. I'd be like, okay, when does my heart start leaping? When does my spirit start leaping? That's the melody. And that's the, you know, okay, we're there and it's getting closer. That same thing still happens. I still go to that posture, but it's in a completely different package. But we needed that foundation. We needed that foundation of what we did in our previous season, because that is the cornerstone of that project, of that next manifestation. The beginning of it is that is that thing we did. And it sometimes needs to go to the ground. A seed needs to go to the ground and die to become a tree and to keep going. And it's a cycle, because then that tree also drops a seed and it needs to go to the ground and die to create another tree. And, you know, I mean, I think we all know, anybody tuning in this, the 7-year cycles, you know, and if we can a lot of times line up our processes between 7 years of life, 7 years of death or process and transition, you know, and, you know, it's never a hard, staunch calendar, but it seems like it's always in that ballpark. So I just see that as such an encouragement to the listeners, to your fan base, to people who would tune into something like this, who listen to the record, who listen to your podcast, that, you know, that we are all going into a season. If you're listening to this, it's because you need to be encouraged that the process, the death, the failures, the lack of destiny execution or destiny manifestation in the season you just came out of, it's not over. That's the beginning. That's the cocoon. And a lot of us are going into the cocoon. A lot of me and you, like, we're starting to come out of our cocoon in one capacity, but we've been in that cocoon, that processing state, you know? So, I mean, we can wax on about this forever, but you know, it's beautiful what's going on in the world right now, what's going on with people that are part of this awakening, you know. And
well, it was something that, you know, was niche. It was small. You know, it was like, oh, you do spiritual hip hop or whatever, like, but it's there wasn't but a few people. Like, there's only a few artists, and I listened to those artists, and I was inspired by them and the work that they did and how they were using their creativity to inspire and stuff. It was a small genre, but now, because of, you know, the state of the world and things like that, people are having a spiritual awakening, and the entire planet is undergoing a shift, a change. We are, however you want to articulate that spiritually. That's what we get to do with our art. But it's making it when now people are asking those questions, and so this has been happening the last several years, and it's something that we've already been doing. And I've been in that's kind of like for so long that it's almost stagnant now. But it's like, hey, position yourself, because you got to practice first, because when the flood comes and people are ready and they need answers and they have questions, like, you got to be able to do it. Oh, I got music for you. This is music for the awakening. I'm articulating what you're going through on this album. Like, and then the Bible is articulating what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? God is articulating it. He's the author of it. Tap in, get in the flow, because that's all the music is telling you to do. But it was like, you know, as a forerunner, it's easy to be like, man, nobody listens and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And, but when it's your time, it's your time. And God is really when he directs those seasons. You know what I'm saying? This is, my buddy Jeremy. This is NJ Beats.
What's up,
Hello,
man?
hello.
What's up? Good to meet you, man.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Ken Thomas, the producer that we just come up with that song. Oh, okay.
So
FHONO.
is this the guy you're doing the beats with lately?
Yeah, it's
nice, man. Yeah, he was talking about how inspired he is and how it's coming together. So it's exciting.
Trying to.
Yep, get it.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited, and everybody watching, you guys are asking about new music, and it's so funny because when you put out, they used to cut me a little bit because it'll take months to put out an album. You know, 6 months, 8 months, whatever, like a long time. And we put it out and we promote it, we shoot videos, we edit it, and then the next day they're like, hey, when's the next one? I'm like, oh my God. Listen to this album first, you know.
I know,
and so people are waiting, but there's new music coming. It's already in the works, and hopefully you guys listening won't have to wait, you know, months or anything. Hopefully we're able to put out singles and drop them as they come, and it's some magic that we're working on. So the stuff I'm doing with him, the stuff I'm gonna continue to do with you, bro, as the Lord leads, like, let's do it, man. And to inspire people, but the way we know to do it, we're gonna make music that we like and that we love and we resonate with. But when we resonate with something, we put it out, it has to find resonance with somebody else to come back. That's how vibration works, right? It hits something, comes back. And when it hits something, that's the fans. That's the people who are letting us know, hey man, the song same way you guys described that song, I felt that when I heard it. That song brought tears to my eyes. That song convicted. Whatever it does, like, let us know, guys. Go listen to it. Run the numbers up. Add it to all your playlists. Click like on it. The algorithms know that.
Yep.
And once you guys help us kind of, because we don't have no big budget, no label. This is it. This is it right here. This is all you got.
Yep.
So when you guys resonate with it and you click like and you share, the algorithms know that, and the algorithms will begin to serve it to more people who have never had that encounter, who have never heard a song that has the anointing hidden in the lyrics, and it's not just about pain, but it's about solutions too. You know what I'm saying? So this stuff has the ability to change lives. I want to say thank you to all the fans and listeners, and we got more coming, man, for sure.
Beginning. Yep.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And whenever you're ready, ideas, something new, something original, remixes, which I'm down for whatever, brother.
Sounds good. We'll keep getting after it. It's just the beginning.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon, man.
You guys.
Shalom. Peace.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. I don't know how to remove him. I don't want to block. Change to viewer. Okay. I guess he's okay. Yeah. So we in the shot? Yeah. Guys. So people were asking, like, that song Darkness. Where's that at? I want to find that song now. So I was like, it's not out yet. We working on it.
Ready yet?
It's almost ready.
Yeah.
But
it's getting there.
Talk of just a minute, because you've been messing with music for a long time, but like trying to take it serious and having somebody to hear people rap over your beats. Have you even heard that? Have you gotten something back? I guess you heard me. The first thing we did.
First time. I've been, I started way back in the day messing with techno on the PlayStation 2, making beats. And, I started back probably about 4 years ago, didn't stay consistent with it. And now the last 6 months, I got back into it and staying on it consistent, perfecting my craft, trying to, work with some people. And it's going to be good. A lot of things coming next year for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We super excited because what we've already, it's really one of the first songs that we've able to sit down and do. And like I said, being able to, the clip, people were responding to that clip, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's the bridge of that song.
Yeah, it gave me chills for sure when the first time I heard it.
Yeah. Sitting in your studio yesterday, especially what we did to it.
Yeah.
Because that what's in that snippet, I just want to say this, like, you can listen to the snippet, but that's a demo. We went into the studio yesterday, it was like, hold on, drop all them instruments out. It's got to be an intimate moment.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
And it is. So you guys were already talking about that song, like, where's that song? I got to hear it. It's so powerful. Man, this time's 1,000 already.
Yeah.
Just by dropping the instruments out and having that synth carry it. So I say that to say I'm excited again for music that I've been like stagnant and thinking that it was over. So
be a lot more to come too.
We're working with a couple people and hip hop artists and got some stuff in our bags. And somebody mentioned Laura C. Working with Laura C. We've already been talking about me getting on her stuff and her getting on something my style. So I'm pretty sure that's in the works now, because we can actually make a beat that would cater and meet the styles in the middle. And that's what it's about, creating something new. So, oh yeah, Laura C., we're going to get her on the track. Big things coming. Big things coming. Thank you guys for the support. It really means the world. Go listen to the song on Spotify. The link is in the description. And then come back and let me know your thoughts if you want to hear more of that. It's amazing. I love it. And we're going to keep doing it. Many blessings to you guys. So, and follow him, Zen J Beats, Beatz.
I'm dropping on my pages, Zen J Beats.
Got his logo yesterday, got a logo up, and it's like,
very nice logo.
It's kind of been weird over the years, just to be honest, because I said we just download beats from producers that are like, they're to the public. Like, you pay $25 and you get the beat, but everybody can use the same beat. So it's kind of been weird with, like, first of all, we can't like dissect the beat and pull stuff out or add stuff. It's just like, hey, it is what it is kind of thing. And I've been in this thing around 20 years and I've never been able to sit down with the producer and say, hey man, pull them keyboards out, man, turn that up, man, try this. And to be able to do that again with that's feeling stagnant, but that creative aspect coming to the table.
Songs unique and stand out when you can work with the artist or work with the producer, as opposed to buying somebody's beats or buying,
It's already like that.
Look, or
it's already like that, and it's just next level for me as a creative and as an artist, and it's where it's supposed to be. And anybody who's doing it professionally, they're doing that. They're sitting down with the composer. Hey man, you got to take that sound out. Hey, try to change this to the key of F. So that's
what makes a good song.
It's birthing something new. Go listen to it. One thing I wanted to drop on that kind of same thing about buying pre-made beats is what we've done over the years. We had to do it. We didn't have a budget. We didn't know people who were good at making beats. But the girl that's on the song with us, Lokka Vox, she's on the new EDM song, Gateway. So it's funny, my relationship with her, of how like I knew who she was, is that years ago we downloaded a beat online that she did the vocals to. So it was a beat that came with a pre-made chorus, a pre-made hook by her. And so that was a common thing where they sell you a song and it's got a chorus on it already and I bought one that had her. So I kind of technically had a feature with Lokka already, but she didn't know me and I didn't know her. I just got the beat from the producer, and probably a lot of other people did too. So that's one of those things about buying a pre-made beat with that already in it. But I like how everything comes full circle, and now I actually have a legit collab with her. And just the small things, man. The small things that stick out to you.
Crazy how it worked out like that.
All things work out, and go listen to the song, because if you want more, you gotta let us know, because I don't know unless I look at the numbers, and if ain't nobody listening, then you're just a echo chamber. But Spotify, the song is Gateway, remix the Gateway to the Seer Realm. That Darkness song coming up very soon too. You gotta click follow when you get on there, just so you'll get notified. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Peace.
Shalom. We'll do it again.